Daddy's back.
Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams for another Smackdown breakdown, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show where we take no nights off, and you just can't have the Smackdown breakdown without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Heller.
Greetings and salutations. How we doing on this fine Sunday?
Fine. You know?
Just fine.
Yeah,
Just fine.
I for a second I almost was like, great, the Patriots won.
They didn't.
No, they didn't, but hey, they're still winning because they're still at number 2. So
they are the number 2 pick right now after today's game.
Hmm.
And yeah, my Motor City Kitties came out with a nice dub on Saturday night, crushing Russell Wilson and the Broncos. I mean, and SmackDown was pretty good. I will say though, Sarah, we started Sunday on a bad note.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up 8 o'clock on the chair here, obviously, and your boy forgot that he ordered Wendy's, and the ye old animales got to it outside.
Oh, jeez. I totally forgot that they have breakfast now.
What do you
Or did
you
you-
mean? No, this is not
Oh,
breakfast
it's
hour.
food,
This
food.
is
Oh.
this is not. It's so nice of you to think that I got up early and ordered the breakfast, but then went back to sleep. No, I was celebrating my my best friend's birthday out in Boston with Bostonia, great restaurant if you're ever in town. And we went home, and I just ordered food. And here's the thing, Sarah, it was like order for 2. I don't know why I ordered 2, but that's beside the point. I'm just confused.
I want to make sure we say hello to everybody. Bernard is here. The King Razor. I still want to say the Kingdom of Razor, but
I might just say Kingdom of Razor. Let's go full like that. Just he knows we're talking about him, and it's
no days off. No days off. That is us, bro. That is us.
That's literally us.
Thanks for being here, guys. Even to all the people who haven't posted in the chat. Hello
to all you guys. It's time, and I'm just happy for the fans. All right, I just want to say thank you. We've been seeing a lot of comments. Obviously the bad, but then the good ones pop up, and it really makes what we're doing here a lot more fun because you guys enjoy it as much.
Because we got a really nice comment,
really nice one,
over the weekend from somebody. I don't know if they'll watch. I think they do. I think they said they watched the replays. The one and only Delta, very nice comment. And it made our day, or like our week, I guess, because he had said that he was very happy to find our channel, that he's been having a hard time finding wrestling content that he actually enjoys, and he really likes our live stream replays. And he said there's a oversaturation basically of wrestling content, especially on YouTube, but he said that he really likes that our channel feels different, that our commentary is always thoughtful and passionate, and he feels like we've improved his enjoyment of wrestling. So I felt like that was really cool. And
it was really cool.
Yeah, it's funny just because, like, you don't, I guess you don't really think about that type of impact. It's like we're just sitting here talking about wrestling and then interacting with whoever shows up in the chat, and like you don't really think about, like, I don't know, at least it's like you don't know really how people are enjoying you, or like what they're enjoying or what they're taking from it. You know what I mean? Like, because we're just doing this for fun because like we're fans and we want to talk about everything. So it's like hard to imagine like what people are thinking or taking away from what we're saying, because we can't be a viewer.
No, we can't. And the passionate talk about it, I mean, just because we just say what's on our mind, and we know we love it. And for me, at least, when you don't have an outlet, with a friend or family member here to talk about it, you're gonna give all your might and your best whatever for the show. It was gonna be as passionate as possible, and I just thank you. So that's all. It was just thank you very much, guys. It really just did. I know it made my weekend, Sarah. I don't want to speak on you, but I think it did also probably make your weekend as well. So
yes.
So let's keep going with that passionate wrestling talk, Sarah. Let's
All
talk about
right.
SmackDown. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
And what
So we
happened?
opened the show with Roman Reigns taking his la-di-da ass time to get to the ring. Holy moly, it took the first 5 minutes of the show. Literally. Like, that was crazy. And yeah, it took 5 minutes for him to finally start talking. And basically what you take away from this is he was acting like he was going to promote Jimmy, or at least that's what Jimmy thought. Jimmy thought that he was going to be promoted. And it's not the case, actually. He promotes Solo Sikoa to be the next right-hand man / the next tribal chief. And this is when I was like, I told you.
Yeah, I knew
I
as soon
told
as
you.
as soon as he said Solo, I went, damn it. Like I was just because I knew as soon as we hopped in here, you were going to just be like, "What's up?" Called it, knew
Yep.
it.
I
What's
was
up?
like, I told y'all. This is the thing. If this ends up happening, I need everybody to come back to my channel, okay, and just let me know how brilliant I am.
Just
Okay,
acknowledge your tribal queen.
acknowledge your tribal. What is a female version of chief? I don't know.
It's
I'll
not
think.
is it priestess?
Maybe your
Chiefess?
tribal priestess. Hello, here I am. But no,
I'm
really,
too
like,
curious. I'm looking it up.
okay.
I'm too curious.
If I end up being right, I would kind of be shocked at myself too, because I've been saying this for literally months. And then I also had read that this was purposely done, which obviously it was purposely done, but they were saying it's because it's supposed to set something up. Like the rumor that I saw, I don't buy it at all. I think it was saying something like Randy is or Cody's going to dethrone him or something, and then Roman is going to take time off again, shock, and then Solo's going to take over in his place. I was like, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that the inevitable is, if it's not Cody, or Solo helps Cody, that is a way that could work. If Cody is going to be the one to dethrone Roman, then the easiest way to involve Solo without Solo getting the title, I guess, would be Solo helping Cody win, as opposed to making sure he loses.
On purpose or accidentally?
On purpose. That would be his way of like ending it, But I would love to be right that he's the one who takes it away from Roman. I would just be kind of bummed at the same time for Cody, because the idea of Cody losing 2 WrestleManias in a row is a little heartbreaking.
I'm already seeing the videos of you spend $5,000 for front row tickets at Mania, and this hits, and it's the Kurt Angle meme of, and then in the background it's Roman's music. We ain't doing it.
I mean, we'll have to see how the next few months go, obviously, and maybe that'll give us a little bit more of an indication of kind of like where they're going. But I think it's hard because most people were convinced it was going to happen at WrestleMania 39, and it didn't happen. So I don't know that we're really going to get much of a hint of it if it's going to actually happen this year. Like, I don't think that we're going to know one way or the other, unless
I don't want to know.
I don't either, but I feel like I want to prepare myself for either scenario, because I don't want to get so worked up to the point where I really convince myself that Cody is going to become champion and then be so disappointed because it's going to be the last match on night 2. Like, I don't want to leave WrestleMania weekend heading into the Raw after Mania and just be like, like, I don't want to be disappointed again, But
no.
I guess it depends how it goes too, because if it ends up being Solo or something, I don't know. But regardless, Roman decided that he was going to ruin Jimmy's life, and that's exactly what he did. But then we get Randy Orton. He comes back to make sure that he lets Roman Reigns know
Daddy's back.
Damn right. Damn right.
Daddy,
Zaddy's
daddy,
back.
and daddies are back because we'll get to that at the main event. Daddies are back. Yeah.
Multiple of them.
So, what I thought was weird is that they have his music hit and then he starts coming out and they immediately go to commercial. I'm like,
That was bizarre.
that
No,
was.
like I'm sorry. Like that that really peeved me.
Yeah,
And then after coming out days later, it coming out, the videos of Randy Orton just standing by the steel steps, waiting to go in the ring.
yeah,
It was like that was
yeah,
bizarre. I don't understand that.
yeah.
If the segment's gonna go long and you're not like, just let it go long. I
Well,
don't know.
that's how they've been doing the opening segments. Like sometimes their segments have been like 20 minutes. So and especially with the bloodline, that was something that they had been doing when the bloodline was the hottest storyline in wrestling. Like the opening segments on Raw or SmackDown were like 20, 25 minutes before they went to a commercial. So that was kind of weird. It just
Mhm.
felt like, I don't know, it kind of like ruined the momentum a little bit. I don't know. But so
Mhm.
Randy comes in, and of course, this is the first time since Randy has been back that he is coming face to face with his tribal chief. So he said that he has been thinking about this moment for the past 18 months. And of course, I knew exactly what Roman was going to say to that. Roman's so predictable, but we'll get to that. And he said that he's been thinking about this moment of what he was going to say and what he was going to do, but all he wants to let Roman know is that he is coming for him and that he is going to take everything away from him, just like what he did and putting him on the shelf for 18 months. And he doesn't care how many family members he has to go through to get the job done. And he says that it's going to be starting at the Royal Rumble, and then says he's going to be challenging Roman for the title, which does that mean that he thinks he's going to win the Royal Rumble? Was that his implication?
Randy
Or
Orton?
is he
No.
okay? Because that's what it could have been
Oh, I
perceived
didn't take
that
it like
way.
that. I took it straight up as he's going to challenge him at the Royal Rumble.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that could have been it, but then it was also like it's going to start at the Royal Rumble and then I'm going to challenge you for the title. It was like really, I don't know. But I mean, this is something that we knew was going to happen, and it seemed like this was going to be the match for Roman at Rumble if he was actually going to be there, and it makes the most sense because we were talking about how you kind of can't have Roman show up 3 times before Mania and
Yeah. That
I'm
can't
sorry,
fly
three
this year.
times before Rumble, and then expect
Oh,
them to
okay.
have like an actual solid storyline heading into the Rumble match, but it's Randy, so there's backstory there.
Mhm.
So Roman LOLs at him and for him wanting to have a title shot because he's been gone for so long. And it's like, what have you done for the last year and a half that you think that you should be getting a title shot? So you need to get to the back of the line where you belong. And he says that the next time that he beats him, it's not just going to be a 18-month vacation, that it's going to be a full on retirement. And this is the best part, okay? Randy says, yeah, you're impressive. You've had a great reign. Like your career is this, whatever. And then he's like, you're a legend. And then he's like, but I'm a legend killer. And I was like, yes, King.
I
And
popped.
he tries to
I popped.
RKO.
I popped
I know.
a bit.
No, so did I. Because my sister told me about it. Because she told me about how awkward Roman was, which we'll get to in a second. And she was like, "You need to watch it so that you can understand." And then she was telling me what he was saying, and then he was like, "Randy said he was a legend," and I was like, "And then he could say he's a legend killer," and she was like, "He did," and I was like, "Yay!" So then
Yay! We
yay,
were right.
Randy, yay, Randy. Um, so yeah, he tries to RKO Randy, or I'm sorry, Roman. Roman freaks out like he saw a ghost, or according to Randy, he crapped his pants. And then he just lets him know that he's back. And that was just how it ended. So before we get into dissecting why Roman is so awkward, what did you think of this? Because I feel like this wasn't necessarily anticipated in the same way of like Seth versus Punk coming face to face, but I feel like this was still a highly anticipated moment given the context, and like Randy just came back and the Bloodline are the ones that put him on the shelf for 18 months. So to me this was still like a huge moment
It was a
for
huge moment.
yeah, and
It
I
was a
felt
huge
like
moment.
it was good actually.
No, it was a good moment. It was good that you have Roman one, having a feud before the Rumble, but
Mhm.
two, it's against Randy Orton. It's against someone of that stature where it's, oh, could he actually, he's on that path to being, whatever.
Mhm.
And it doesn't feel forced. You have that backstory of essentially him and the bloodline taking him out for 18 months. And that's a nice seed to plant for this storyline. And with everything going on, like it's another notch on Roman's title reign for him to, when he beats Randy, like that feud. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just I don't have like any like intense thoughts about it because it's what should have happened. Like this wasn't a bad in-ring segment. I thought it kicked off the potential feud very nicely, and it
Mhm.
did set up it set up the main event pretty well too.
Yeah, I think that this is more I think people are actually going to be looking forward to this match a lot more
Mhm.
than whatever they thought was maybe going to be planned for Roman, because when you saw that
Mhm.
he was only going to be showing up once in December and then twice in January, we even talked about it where we were like, okay, this seems like a clear indication that he's not going to be at the Rumble, because like that's not enough time for him to establish anything that seems credible. And
Mhm.
they already were saying like LA Knight is not getting a rematch. So that wouldn't work. And it was like, okay, so Roman's not showing up. So it's like a blessing that Randy returned when he did, even if it was
Mhm.
overshadowed by Punk. Um, I
Not
think that
really, but yeah.
this is a good headliner for the Rumble, because I think the Rumble is going to be huge, obviously, not just because of it, kicking off Mania season and it being WrestleMania 40, but CM Punk is back, and then there's Randy Orton, then it's like Cody needs to win the Rumble, and then whoever else, like Gunther, whoever. So I think that this is like a good way to get people more excited about it beyond
1,000%.
the Rumble match, you
Yeah,
know?
you need to get people excited for the Rumble other than the match itself, and one way to do that, yeah, you gotta have Roman on it, but two, a legit opponent. And him and Roman would put on a banger match. They're gonna put on a banger match.
Who? Who?
Roman and Randy.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be a banger match.
And it's because of their styles too. Like they definitely wrestle a little bit more like
Yeah,
old
very
school.
complimentary styles.
Yeah, so I think that that is going to be interesting. Plus, it's like revenge for
Oh,
Randy,
1,000%. It's
and it
revenge.
seems like there's some other things going on, which we'll talk about. But before we get there,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
so I've been on the record saying, complimenting Roman Reigns for his progression as a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I remain with that belief. But as I've said, conversationally, he's still just not it. And you know what part of it is I really feel like I don't know for sure, but this is just someone from, on the outside. It feels like part of it is because he's gone so often. It's like he's not getting the reps in like continuously
Yeah.
to like have these conversations and not feel so awkward, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And it's like I don't know, because I have my issues with Roman, but one of them is always like it's to me, because he's not a great speaker, I still feel like he's not. It's like it kind of makes him not a legend. Like they want us to believe that he's a legend. He's like the guy of this era. It's Roman Reigns' world, and we just live in it. But it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
not good on the mic, you're not incredible in the ring, and you're not a workhorse. So it's like how like what makes you legendary exactly besides your title reign? That's what I want to
He's
know.
load managing, Sarah. It's just load management. Okay. It's
I
just load
hey,
management.
Jan's commentary is generally is hilarious, so I appreciate.
I mean, that was
Uh,
really funny. That was
yeah,
really
no,
good.
yeah. Um,
Oh, shout out.
Main event, Fro. What is up, dude? What up, people? Peace and prosperity to you all. Happy holidays. Thank
Happy
you, sir.
holidays.
Back to
Happy
you. Thank you for
right
giving us an
back
extra
at you.
$5 for the holidays, because
Oh my God,
you're
I
the
need
one
it.
giving us the money on here. We appreciate you. Thanks for checking in.
Got
Um,
that good ass fro.
but what do you think? Like, what did you feel awkward, first of all? Like, did you feel like it was, like, not it?
Awkward wouldn't be the word I would use.
I didn't wanna say
Like
cringe.
stagnant. No, like stagnant. Like it feels robotic. Like he
Yes, yeah.
feels like like the tribal chief is
Mhm.
this larger than life being. Like that's just what it feels like. It's when I think of him, it's a dumbed down Batista on the mic. Like
Mm.
Batista wasn't great on the mic, but he could hold his own. And Roman's just trying to is like that and trying to be, zingers and whatnot, like tough guy. It's just that tough guy mentality that you just doesn't need to um, you know, talk a lot, whatever. He's just gonna beat you down, but it's just stale. So that's the other thing that we just know it's coming. It's very predictable.
Mhm.
So, but because of that, we're like, all right, like just say something new. Like it's just yeah,
Yeah, I just think it still, like, does it just reminds me of him trying it's like he's trying too hard. That's, like, what it is, and I think,
trying to
again, like,
already
as I
going.
said, it's like because he's not getting reps in. He's taking
No,
so much time off, so it's like when he when it was, like, peak Bloodline, like, earlier this year, he was on fire every single week,
fire.
and a lot of it is, in my opinion, because he has a comfort level speaking to his family,
Mhm,
obviously. And the Usos aren't particularly great on the mic either. But I think that made it seem a little bit better because he didn't really have to worry about anything. He's just speaking to his cousins who he's spoken to his entire life. So it's like that is a little bit less nerve wracking, but
mhm.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. It just recently it's just not been good. And I said that about his interactions with LA Knight. Like that was cringy. And this
Yeah,
was
he
just,
demolished him.
yeah, it's just, and Randy Orton can do that very easily too. And Randy like let him off pretty easy, I would say, because Randy could have just annihilated him and he
Oh, he
didn't.
could have. He
So
absolutely could have, and he didn't at all.
yeah, yeah. And it's possible we could see it eventually. But yeah.
Eventually.
Sorry. I was just reading Jan's
Jen's comment is
tweet.
just
Oh
I
jeez.
disagree. Roman has a lot of reps wrestling. He does. He really does have a
That is
lot of
true.
reps
That
getting
is
that
true.
practice in.
So since we've already been talking about Randy Orton and we mentioned LA Knight, let's get into this. So we see a little backstage segment between the two of them, which we've seen them kind of like teaming up since Randy returned, which I am for, except for what might end up happening. But Randy just wants to make sure that they're good and is letting LA Knight know, like, I don't need your help, bro. Like, thanks, but no thanks. And he tells LA Knight that he needs to stay out of his way, but LA is like, I was only there because it was a numbers game, so I was just trying to help you out, and we have a common goal here. Like,
Remember.
I want to do what it takes to finish Roman Reigns, whatever. And so to me, this feels like they're setting the groundwork for a potential Randy versus LA Knight feud, which has me conflicted because I think it would be incredible for LA Knight to, add another legend to his resume of working
Mhm,
with, not just tagging with, but like feuding with. I love
mhm.
that idea, but I don't love the idea of if a feud starts between them that maybe LA Knight would have to turn heel. I don't love that. I also don't love the idea of Randy Orton beating LA Knight. That's the problem that I have.
I don't think he would beat LA Knight.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think
he
he would.
can't.
No, I don't think he would. I think LA Knight would go over.
I hope
Yeah, he
well
hits
we
him with an RKO, but I
yeah, and
kinda
I
want
guess
that
like
anyways. Like
it's just I think the problem is like I don't think Randy is at a stage in his career where he's, he has a different mindset than CM Punk, because like CM Punk wants to make, he wants to win a Royal Rumble. He wants to main event WrestleMania. He still wants to win championships. He wants to do this and that. Randy doesn't care. Like he does, but he doesn't. There's an interview with him recently where I think he said that it would be cool if he could become like break the record, Ric Flair's record of,
yeah,
the
he
no
was the guy to do it.
yeah, like he would be into doing that. But I don't think that's a priority for him like right this second.
No.
But we haven't seen him putting over guys in the same way as like John Cena. Like I wouldn't even say RK Bro was that. You know what I mean? Like
No.
that still didn't do anything for Riddle, and it's mostly because of his own actions. But yeah, so I don't mean like this could be a banger match for WrestleMania. Like,
Mhm.
I would love that because we also have been talking about, like, where does LA Knight fit into WrestleMania? We don't even know where Randy fits because we assume he's going to face Roman. And then after that, it's going to have to be whatever. But him versus LA Knight would be sick as long as LA Knight went over.
WrestleMania needs matches that aren't for titles and have
Yeah.
some sort of substance, and if they don't, throw 2 stars against each other just to
Yeah.
see who's the better man. And kind of off of what you said, I don't think you need to turn anyone heel or face or whatever for this feud. It can go old. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be 2 guys that are, so competitive. They want to see who's the best out of the 2, and that's just enough for a feud. And then you have that at Mania. This feels like a Mania type of match already,
Mhm.
and I don't know.
To
I'm
me,
into it.
I mean, I agree to an extent. The problem is I feel like if you really pit Randy and LA Knight against each other, is I just don't know that LA Knight would have as much support as he usually does because it's Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Mm.
that would be a problem. Like, I feel like Randy would have to be the heel.
You don't
But
think? Well, it's easy because Randy would be the heel in my eyes after all the fans are gonna go towards LA Knight, and Randy
mm,
can easily throw the card of "You're turning against me, you're going with this guy. He's just a
mm,
flash in the pan, I'm the city legend killer," all that stuff, and
yeah.
it just there's enough substance right there for a feud, so
Yeah, and well, that's what I mean. I feel like something has to happen in that way because otherwise it's just like risking too much about of like potentially doing damage to LA Knight, you know?
Mhm, yeah.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey has 40 fantasy points.
I don't have him on my
You don't
team.
think? Gosh.
Imagine if I did, you'd be in tears.
Is it more personal? A personal matter kept JC Jackson out. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just like refreshing
Yeah,
my totals
you went
here.
right into musket fire brain.
Patriots mode. Sorry. Yeah, that's
We're
my
bastards.
my brain 99% of the time. Um anyway, okay, moving on to the US title tourney. We first see Carmelo
Love this.
Hayes versus Grayson
Love this.
Waller. And my first thing is what exact like okay, this is kind of like what the issue that I had with Randy Orton acting like he didn't know who LA Knight was. Why did they have to have Logan Paul act like Carmelo Hayes was some sort of scrub?
Yeah, no, I love this though. It's perfect for Logan Paul's persona of he's the
But
outsider, doesn't know who anyone is. I
yeah,
loved it.
but it's
I
still just
loved
like
it.
come on, it's Carmelo Hayes. Like
All right. That's the thing is that yeah, he did it to Carmelo Hayes because NXT star, and if any other NXT star was in there, it would have made more sense. But because the NXT star that they chose was Mello, and Mello is, I would say, more popular than some main roster guys right now.
mhm.
It could have fallen flat, but I think it went well for Logan and the way he didn't he was very smart in how he said things. Like, I forget what he said verbatim about him, but they weren't, like, jokes that are just right over the head. He was I don't know,
Well, because
he
he was
used
like,
a
okay, well,
natural.
good luck, random guy. Like is
Yeah,
like how
like
he ended.
yeah,
How do you feel about Logan not being there?
doesn't matter.
You don't think it
Totally
matters?
fine with it because you're
Really?
hyping up the US title and you're putting other people in that spotlight that aren't Logan, which is
But how
it's
is it
giving
hyping the US title if he's not
it's a
there?
tournament.
I know, but like, shouldn't he be there? Because then he can get more heat, and then it's like
Well, he gets more heat by not being there.
people. Yeah, but I just feel like it would be easier if he was still there. But I mean, this is how I got that old school mentality, brother.
You do.
I just want my wrestlers there, especially the champions, because as I said, like Logan's never there. Roman's never there. There's no titles for the men to go after on SmackDown.
Mhm.
So it's very
No, there really
frustrating.
isn't.
But anyway, I don't have a whole lot to say about this match. It was fantastic. Both are so talented. We saw some really cool stuff from both of them. Like that one move from Grayson Waller that even like commentary was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen that before. Like I don't even know what to call it."
Yeah.
um And I think the huge benefit of that, and the reason why they probably chose Mello, at least one of the reasons, is because they have worked together so much during their time in NXT. So it was bound to be a banger match. And I'm so glad that that's what happened. And I was actually kind of surprised that Mello won, honestly.
Oh, I wasn't. I knew
I,
Mello was good.
I was just kind of surprised because I think it's more so just because of his involvement in like a big storyline in NXT right now. So that's why it was like,
True.
oh, to
True.
further him into the tournament, it was like, oh, okay, like that was just kind of
Mhm.
surprising. But I'm interested in it and I'm glad, you know. I mean, I wouldn't have an issue if Waller was, and I think obviously that plays into the whole Logan Paul aspect because he was saying Grayson Waller's my dude and Austin Theory's my guy. Like now they're both out. So it's like, okay, now he actually has to face off with people who he can't just be like, lay down on the mat and let me pin you, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
exactly.
so I think that's one benefit to it, I think for sure.
That
Um
move that Waller did from the
mhm.
middle rope
Oops.
was insane.
No, I know. And I
That
I, I
shit was
want to know what the
crazy.
name of it is because I don't even think they knew,
It was
you
like a
know?
yeah, it was like a dragon screw or corkscrew from the middle rope. I
Yeah,
need a name for it.
I think the only thing that they basically knew was that it was a DDT type of thing. Like that was all that they could say. Like it was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I don't know. So and maybe that was the first time he's ever done it. I don't know, but still, it was a cool move. So then we move on to the second US title match or US title tourney match, which was Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. And this was a long ass match, dude. I swear
They
this was
got
like a half
time.
hour. It
They got
feels like I swear to God, it was a half hour, which I'm not complaining, but I was just kind
no.
of surprised because it's just a tournament match. And it's like, I mean, it's Kevin Owens, but I don't know. I was just like shocked at how many commercials there were. But
It was
it's
more of
just
a
a
feud, like a match, a tournament match that had a blood feud already infused into it, with Theory
yeah.
being the one who broke his hand. So it's,
No, it was
2
Waller that broke
sides.
his hand, I thought. It was Waller.
No, Waller no, it was in a match with Grayson Waller. Theory was at ringside, and Theory stomped on the hand
I
on the
thought it
steel
was when he
steps.
hit I don't know. I thought it was when he hit his hand, but
No, he stomped on his hand on the steps, and, like, that's already substance enough where you can have just a regular tournament match like that go a little bit longer because there is some, bad blood between them already.
yeah.
I like that they're doing that now.
Yeah.
They're not just having these matches just to have them and, "Oh, they have some history, so let's just put them in the match." No, they're bringing in their feud into the match itself. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And I was happy that this was long too because they're both so good. And we knew that about Kevin Owens, so it's not like we
Mhm.
needed a reminder of it. But Austin Theory, man, like him and Waller put on hell of a match individually. Like this was just like a good reminder for people who maybe don't pay attention to Austin Theory that much that like no, he's actually really good in the ring. And that's the
Mhm.
problem that we have talked about before, that a lot of the time people will take their personal opinion of them based on their character and kind of
Mhm.
write them off and say they suck, they're this and that. And it's because they don't like them, so they don't pay attention to their in-ring ability.
Yeah,
And so people are
exactly.
like, Theory sucks. And it's like, no, like you might not like his character, but he actually doesn't suck. He's really good.
He's really good. That standing Spanish fly was unbelievable. Or springboard, excuse me. Springboard Spanish fly that he did was insane.
I just wish that they would do more with his character. That's the main thing. But I'm gonna complain about that
1,000%.
basically until
1,000%.
they actually do it, whenever that is.
Oh, Jan, Theory doesn't suck.
Hmm?
I disagree with that. Oh, no.
Oh.
Theory sucks.
Oh. I mean, you don't have to like him, you know.
Vinny likes him.
Yeah, I don't like his character. That's why I've said for a while that I think he needs to be a babyface. But he's such a nice person. That's why I watched interviews with him and I was like, oh, you're a little cute little baby, you know, because he's only like 26 years old.
That's a baby to you.
That is
Yeah.
a baby to me. That is, unfortunately. Oh. That hurts to say, and I can't believe you just said that. It's so mean. But then we do see a really cool moment, I would say, between Kevin Owens and Carmelo Hayes backstage. We see Kevin Owens walking after he wins over Theory, which I think I forgot to mention. And he's being interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and he basically recreates an iconic moment that he had with John Cena when he was first brought up to the main roster from NXT. He does that with Melo, and it's ironically for the exact same championship, which I thought was really cool because
That is really cool.
I remember this moment, you know.
Mhm.
So Carmelo approaches him and just, you know, tells him like he's great and whatever, he respects him, but he says he needs this win and he's not like Theory or Waller, and he's not just going to let Kevin punch him in the face so easily. And the thing that I loved about this too, very much just like what John Cena did, it's cool to see the flip for Kevin, you know, because that was like 10 years ago or whatever it was.
That's
And
insane.
we were supposed to believe that Kevin was like fresh meat, like he's a rookie on the main roster. And it's like this dude's been owning the indies, but you know, like,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
now he's in John Cena's position, which is really cool to see because if you've been around throughout his entire WWE career, at least, like that's pretty cool to see he's like in that spot. And I like that he did exactly what John Cena did. His reaction was just like, oh, all right. Like he respected what Melo said, just like Cena did with Kevin. So that was really cool.
It was a really cool moment, and I love the fact that he ended it with like, "Don't little bro me," and Kale was like, "Kale, what does little bro mean? Did I do that? Like, what? I
Yeah.
don't know." Like that, it's stuff like that I love out of KO turning
Mhm.
into that role because you're gonna get more genuine reactions out of him
Mhm.
like that, and oh, that just makes it so entertaining to me.
And it just like ages him. It's like me when I
It
see people
does
say
age him.
like trendy lingo or whatever on Twitter, and I'm like, what does this mean? What does cap mean? What do you mean no
Cat?
cap?
Oh, yeah, no cap. That one confused me
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah, no,
tough
oh my
keeping
gosh,
up with the lingo.
people taking hits at Cam Newton. I don't appreciate it. This time it's Rich Eisen. Second 4-touchdown game in the last 3 weeks for the Santa Clara game manager. Like, oh my God, Eric, you're such a dummy. You literally let other people who have no connection to football, including you, Rich Eisen, who never played football. They can say whatever they want, but the second that Cam says it, it's a problem.
Let 'em know. Let 'em know. Let 'em
I
know,
will.
girl.
This is why, you know, he's like going on tour with Brandon Marshall and like doing shows or whatever. I'm like, dude, if you come to Phoenix, I will be your rat. Okay, I will be there, Cam.
Yeah. You
Just to be
absolutely
like,
should.
I love you, Cam.
Sign up in the front row.
Yeah, he'd be like, get her out of here.
No, he'd love it. He'd
So,
love
well,
it.
I did see he had put out like a hype video for it, like promoting the next one because I think they're going to Atlanta, and there was legitimately like a football fan there. They brought a helmet for Cam to sign. I was like, oh,
Oh, that's
okay,
awesome.
so I could do that.
You can.
Then we move on to the Karrion Kross vignette, which is about time because he's kind of been doing the exact same thing where he's like floating in the abyss,
Just
and
jobbing to
they're
everybody.
I know. So at least it looks like they're trying to put in some effort with him again. Whether or not it goes anywhere, I don't know. But I thought this video was really interesting. And it looks like they are going to be making a new faction. Or at least maybe Karrion will have a manager. I don't think he needs a manager.
It's
What?
Scarlet.
No,
Oh,
I
no,
know,
I
but I'm
just
saying
had a brain blast too. That was where my eyes
oh,
went.
well, because if you were watching the video and people were slowing it down and trying to like look into the background of the video, kind of similarly to how people were trying to figure out Bray Wyatt's like videos, it looks like there's a shadow of Paul Ellering who has been around. I mean, I think he was like in the background of a segment at NXT
He
like a
was,
week or
yeah.
two ago. But then also people noticed that there was like guys with masks on in the video as well. So that could be the Authors of Pain because they have been
That's where my eyes went.
yeah, so can you imagine a faction of Karrion Kross, Scarlet, Authors of Pain, and Paul? To me, until I see it, maybe that'll change my mind, but I feel like could be like amazing, especially because I wanted to see Karrion Kross involved in the Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt Six. Like, I wanted to see that
Yeah.
so bad. And since we're never going to see that, and he basically confirmed that he was going to be a part of it, this feels like another, not the same, but it feels like similar to what we may have been able to see,
Oh, 1,000%. We're gonna see Karrion Kross get built up really well, and this is where the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering can do something. They've been teased
Yeah.
for a while that they're actually in-house internally,
Hmm.
and Karrion Kross needs that. Yes, Scarlett. I mean, I said it. I think I just said it 10 seconds ago that he doesn't. Scarlett is his manager, but imagine if he had a group with the old wise mind of Paul Ellering, the brute force of the Authors of Pain, and then you have your arm candy in Scarlet. That's building up a future world champion. That is an easy way to build up a future world champion.
Yeah. And I you've only heard good things about Carrion. Like, I've seen people come out and talk about him and how um he's such a good worker and he's so nice and he's down for whatever. And I've said that I would hate to see him get the same treatment basically as like Baron Corbin, because it does feel like a wasted talent that they just cannot figure out like the
Mhm,
right path to go on. And I feel like that was basically what we were seeing from him, right? And
mhm.
so I'm glad that they're finally doing something, because his initial return was hyped. Like, he was going after Drew McIntyre, it was like possibly going to be going after Roman. Like, it seemed like they had huge plans for him, and then they completely dropped the ball. Like, I don't even know what happened or why it happened, but um then he had these random feuds and whatever. And so this feels like it's giving him a direction, because he's such a good talker,
He's so
and
good.
his
He's
entrance
so
is
good.
incredible. And I feel like his character is really interesting, and there's no one else on the roster right now that has anything even remotely similar. So
Mhm,
I feel like that automatically creates an open spot for him. And now it's
mhm.
just like, okay, it's not just him that has to go like, full into it. They have to also book accordingly to get people to give a shit about him, because that's
Yes.
part of the problem. It's
Oh,
not that he
1,000%.
it's not that he lacks talent. It's
Mm-mm.
just that people are just like, they didn't care about him one way or the other.
He needs direction and a spot on the show, and
Mhm.
I think in both senses, he hasn't had that. And then the spot in the show sense, he hasn't had it because it's been out. I mean, there's other things that need to be put on over him, and you're not totally out on him. We want to see him, so it's like, okay, all right, so it's there. We just need to find that spot for you. And there just hasn't been there.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see, because maybe they might put a little bit more effort into this if it does involve Paul and the Authors of Pain. Maybe that'll give them more motivation to try and make this work, because it's not just Carrion and Scarlett's like careers on the line. Like, it's going to be multiple dudes that you need
Mhm.
to try and make people care about. So I'm interested. I think it has a potential to be cool.
Did you? Oh wait, where to go? Where to go? Where is it? Yeah, there. Did you know that Scarlett wrestled Scott Steiner?
No, I did not.
I did not know that. That is, I need to find that match.
That's
I
crazy.
knew she wrestled. I wanna say
Yes.
that. I did know she
Yes.
wrestled,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that one of her matches was
That
against
that doesn't
the
surprise me
big
though.
bad booty daddy.
It's Impact. I mean,
Impact's awesome. You
yeah.
got come on, like, you just get just a hodgepodge of things in Impact. That's what makes it. TNA,
Yeah.
excuse me, now,
Yeah.
TNA.
Well, it's not TNA yet, not until next month, but
Hard to Kill, I think, is the, pay-per-view, so oh, she gave Scott
oh,
a lap dance. Oh, alright, moving on!
okay, I don't know. Anyway, okay. So, another video that we got, I wouldn't say it's a vignette, but kind of, was Damage Control, and they were hyping themselves up, but it was led by Bailey. So, I enjoyed this video. I thought it was great. I liked that they got that moment, that they got to have this video that was very focused on them, and Bailey was able to be like the voice of the
Mhm.
entire thing. The part that was just confusing to me is like up until this moment, we were supposed to believe that there was friction, that it looked like there was going to be an inevitable breakup of Damage Control, that Bailey was going to be like she was basically becoming the outsider, that they didn't want anything
Mhm.
to do with her. They were all buddy, arms around her, backing her up, like hyping it up. And I was like, is this really all because of what she did last week? Like she
That's
helped,
literally it.
and it's like,
That's it.
but that's it. Like they were acting weird when she helped, when she was trying to help before, and then the fact that it actually worked, it's like now it's okay. Like it's just, I was just a little confused that we went from like one end of the spectrum to the other in only a week. That was why I was a little thrown off about it.
I think that, well, I'm gonna use a comment to make my point. Where is it? Here's Vinny. Great promo and made Bailey a leader. Here's the thing. I don't think Bailey's the true leader. I don't think she's the true mastermind. I think it's Dakota Kai. I think Dakota Kai is the real leader, and that's who was the leader of this promo, because she came in at the end through the smoke and said, and we're taking it all. We're taking all the gold and whatnot. And yeah, Bailey introduced it, but if you notice how things have been in weeks past, Dakota Kai is the one translating
Yeah.
for, being that middleman liaison.
Mm-hmm.
That is the true leader of any group.
I don't
Like,
know that it's going. I don't think that she's going to be like, oh, I've been the leader the whole time. But I do
no,
think that,
not the whole
yes,
time. Yeah.
yeah, that she's going to be the one to take over whenever they decide to kick Bailey out. Maybe this is their way of slowing the storyline down, because if they want this to eventually fully kick off or begin or whatever at the Royal Rumble, that's a lot of time to
It's a
try and
lot of
fill
time.
and keep it fresh and interesting.
Mhm.
So at least if they have them like, being on a roller coaster where it was like, we're fine, and then we're not, and then we're fine, and then we're not. It's like, okay, then it kind of plays more into what eventually is going to happen. That will make sense. And like I said, I liked the video.
Oh, I
Um,
liked it too, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
was confused about the timing of it. But I guess if that's what they're gonna do, then I'm on board.
I would be on board if they're gonna do that. I just want it. Here's the thing, I just want it to, if it's going to take time to tell it, and you're gonna have weeks where you have them all buddy buddy, and it doesn't make sense because they were just at the wits with each other, whatnot.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a little confusing, but I'm for it. I can't wait. I'm in for the ride. All right, like I'm just in for the ride at this point. I just want to see, like, have it, do it well enough that I'm overly excited for that match at Mania.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I want to see this pay off.
Mhm.
And I mean, they've put so much time and effort into Damage Control as of late. That was a big criticism that we had throughout the year, when it seemed like they just weren't, they didn't know what to do with them. It was just like the same thing that wasn't
Mhm.
really interesting, which is why I think Kyrie and Asuka being brought in did make it more interesting, kind of revitalized it. And then
Mhm.
now they're like the main story in the women's division on SmackDown. So I'm just hoping that if that continues and they still looking in this much effort to make it a big story, that it eventually does pay off. It doesn't like fall flat, you
Mhm.
know. Let's
Someone
see.
won a game upstairs. Jeez, family's having a great old time upstairs.
Oh, so we did see from
I know
that
you
the Kabuki Warriors versus Mia Yim and Zelina Vega. We see Zelina and Mia attack them while they are still making their entrance, and I'm assuming
loved
that
it.
this is really all just a beef stemming from War Games. Is this just because they took them out
Yeah,
so that
like
they
the set
couldn't
up for
be?
War Games. Yeah, yeah, that would make
Yeah, but
sense.
like, but that I feel like, but that was so many weeks ago. It's like I really had to sit there and think, like, why do they have beef with them? And then I'm like, oh, that must be it. But
And they're just tired of their shit. They're just
I
tired of them controlling the backstage and thinking they own the joint. I see, I'm for those little subtle type of feuds where it's just like, listen, I've had enough of you. I'm gonna fight you, and we're gonna bring it out to the ring. If that's all you need, that's all you need.
well, and I mean, if it gets them on TV, then I guess like that's the payoff. Like that
Mhm.
is the point because they deserve to be on TV. So in that aspect, I'm fine with it, obviously. So once they actually get the match going, obviously we see Kabuki Warriors win. But because of this, and then like Damage Control again are all like one big happy family. Do you think that this is just more laying the foundation for what eventually is going to happen with Damage Control? Do you think that that's just like what
1,000%.
this was?
Yeah, this is all this is right now is laying that foundation for the incredible turn. There you go, Kingdom. It's the sorry, I got distracted. It is all leading up to the eventual turn, which will happen either at the Rumble, after it, whatnot, for that payoff match. Because you have to keep in mind, Bayley took out Kairi Sane before she, came back. She's the one that did that. And Asuka and Bayley have never been like on the same page. Asuka's never been like, tag team. It's the Kabuki Warriors. So I think this is all a payoff to have them turn on Bayley. And it's all the revenge plan.
Yeah.
Because EO, her friend, like it's all that.
Yeah. No, that's what I thought too. And again, it just feels kind of like they need to do stuff like this right now because you don't want to do everything right now and then have to have another, 6 weeks of being like, what should we do now? Because we don't have another pay-per-view.
Bernard, they have Bayley right where they want her. That is such a good way to put it. They
manipulation.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, and I'm here for it because I like it when they also have that kind of like psychological aspect to storylines instead of it just being all physical. And that's like how they get their point across. Oh, I just beat you up. And it's like, no, I like that, like the mind games,
Mind games are fun. Yes, Kingdom of Razor. Smackdown hat. How incredible does this fit look? It looks awesome. Catch me out wearing it. What's next? What's next, Sarah?
We have Big Jim Uso wants to know that Solo has his back. So, maybe the big scheme of things, this doesn't mean a whole lot, but I think it does. So Jimmy could just tell based off of what happened at the top of the show and he wasn't named the next tribal chief, that something was off and it feels like maybe the end is near or something weird is going to happen and he doesn't feel safe within the bloodline. So he was basically trying to have a heart-to-heart with his brother, and Solo was not interested in having this conversation to the point where Jimmy basically had to beg him to respond.
Yeah.
And when he asks him if something goes wrong, like if something's going to happen to me, are you like going to let me know? Are you going to have my back? And Solo says, "You're my brother." But you could tell.
That's it. That's all he said.
That didn't satisfy Jimmy at all, and I think he knows.
Me. I was so
and that's the thing is like,
happened.
this is why it's going to be huge when Solo eventually turns on Roman, because no one's going to expect it. The man doesn't even speak.
The man does not speak.
He doesn't even want to defend his brother. He doesn't even want to assure his brother that he'll be there when everything goes, hits the fan. No, he's more loyal to Roman. He's probably more loyal to Roman than Roman's wife. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it comes across. Like, there's nothing that man could do for Solo to not be there.
You think Roman's wife is just like, can you go back to work? Like, you are just at home. No,
they have 2 sets of twins.
Oh, no. God. Like, maybe that's why he needs all the time off.
They have 2 sets of boy twins that are like 5 and under. They're under the age of 5.
Those are hellraisers.
Yeah, and what's up with that genetics? How did you make
Samoans just pop out children like it's
twins back to back of twins?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
but like Samoans and Irish, they really know how to pop kids out. It's unbelievable.
Apparently, because he just wanted to make a new bloodline. He's like, these are the bloodlines of the future.
He's making his own bloodline in a sense.
Yeah. Yep. For 2038, that's when they'll debut.
Getting back on track here. I like Vinny's comment here. It kind of is refreshing. He doesn't talk. It is different. Yes, you need it. Like I feel like for a long time, it is always that manager mouthpiece to a big guy, and then when the big guy speaks, he tries to speak, but it comes out very caveman. Where Solo doesn't speak at all. And even
Yeah.
when he does, it's like, oh shit, like that hit. You don't see any of that now. And it's a different way to build up a monster Samoan killing machine, which is what they need to do in the bloodline. Everyone else talks, but then it adds that mysterious element. Like, why doesn't he talk? Like, what is up with Solo? And then he
Well,
just goes on rampages of just
and
with
it's
this
so
stuff.
different from how he was in NXT because he did talk in NXT. So
That is true.
it's like the complete opposite. And that's why I think that the eventual payoff is going to be no one is going to expect that he is going to turn on Roman. He'll be the last one to turn on Roman. I mean, outside of Paul Heyman. But
No, I think Paul would turn before Solo.
yeah, but what would make Paul turn on Roman? Losing the title, that's it.
CM Punk.
But he's
CM
on Raw though.
No, but it would go back to like Paul Heyman wouldn't just leave Roman to leave Roman. Like there would have to be a reason to leave, and if anything, he would leave for.
But Punk. I also feel like he doesn't need to be back with Punk though.
He doesn't. I'm just throwing out like rankings. Who would turn on Roman? This is all hypothetical. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying for loyalty purposes, Solo would be the literal last person to turn on Roman.
What are you referencing, Vinny? How did I blow your mind?
Yeah, how did Sarah blow your mind? We've said a lot of mind-blowing comments down here in the past.
I know, I'm like, what did I say? What part of what I said? But anyway, so we get into Jim Uso versus Randy Orton, and it ends in chaos, which we love to see. So it was a good match. Obviously, it's a solid match. Solo tries to get involved, but he is cut off by LA Knight because he is taking his duties of protecting Randy Orton very seriously. And so he comes out, but he gets owned by Roman, basically. And Randy gets a win with an RKO, and then as LA is leaving is when he gets met by Roman, is what I mean. And he was like kind of doing like, I told you so, Randy, like you needed me, boo. But Randy's still trying to act like, I don't need you. I can do this by myself.
Dude, turn around. Boom. Roman.
Yeah. So Roman runs into the ring, him and Randy go at it, and then LA Knight comes in to help. Bloodline stands tall, but then here comes Mr. AJ Styles, who we have been waiting for his return for weeks at this point because it's been speculated for weeks. And he comes back in a different capacity because if you don't remember, Mr. Styles was written off TV, written off the face of the planet, courtesy of Solo Sikoa in that dramatic backstage
he killed him.
Beatdown.
He killed him.
Yeah. And so you assume he's coming back to seek revenge on the bloodline. And at first, that is what he does, But then he just decides to turn around and drop LA Knight in the ring with Randy Orton just standing there kind of like in disbelief. And then we all got to admire the body of AJ Styles because, man, he was on that Randy Orton diet while he was gone. That's insane. That man is 46 years old.
He's jacked.
Alan is 46 years old. Alan is 46.
His name's Alan?
AJ Allen.
I didn't know the A was Alan.
Yes,
I knew how to. That's wild. He doesn't look like an Alan.
He looks more like an Alan than an Al.
He looks like an AJ though.
Well, maybe that's what he goes by in his real life, but I don't think so because I think maybe he does. I just remember seeing when the OC was like singing him happy birthday. I remember Mia Yim was said something like happy birthday, like Uncle Alan or something like that. So I don't know, but
Jones. Oh, okay. His name's Alan Jones. But he looks like an AJ though. Like I thought like you could be AJ Jones. AJ Jones is a sick name.
But anyway, so yeah, he was, I mean, other than the fact that he returned as a heel, other than the fact that he returned and beat up LA Knight, the other main thing that people were talking about is that man is jacked right now. And it's like kind of crazy because it was only 3 weeks ago or whatever where everyone was saying the exact same thing about Randy Orton. So it's like these men were taking time off, but they were working out. So I'm all for it. And I feel like, other than the fact that AJ had time on his hands, so he was able to, like, actually work out and maybe try to get into like the best shape of his life, or at least as of like the last 10 years or whatever. I feel like it plays into more of him trying to be a bad guy. Because like I feel like if he showed up looking like bulky like that and he was like, "Yay, I'm back, let's go against the
Yeah.
bloodline," it's like, like, but now you're looking like tough. You're wearing black. You had the glove on.
As soon as he was, I did notice this when he was flying off the top rope. The first thing I noticed was, oh, he's wearing black.
Yeah, all
Telltale
black.
sign, all black. There's little things in wrestling that you just have to pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone comes back wearing all black, be hesitant. What's their
Yeah.
real intention? Like when
Mm-hmm.
he's like, yeah, he's gonna come after the bloodline. They're the ones who attacked him at first, so he's gonna get his comeuppance there, or their comeuppance there. But did you notice how it ran a little? There was that, speaking of awkward, like a pause in the stare down.
Mm-hmm.
The thing didn't flash on the bottom right hand corner,
Yeah.
the tagline, like right away. And
Yeah.
I was shocked that he went after LA Knight. I thought he would have went after like Randy or
I have a
something,
theory.
or you have a theory?
My guess is
Let me
that
hear it.
the bloodline took him out, you know, and so he was on the shelf for however long, because I don't know how many months it's been at this point.
Mhm.
And in that time that he was gone, maybe he could think that it opened the door for LA Knight to get an opportunity to go after Roman Reigns. He's already had his title match. He lost it. So it's like, okay, you're at the back of the line, right?
Mhm.
He's going to go after LA Knight, because if his end game really kind of is going after Roman and getting a title shot, he's got to take out the fat. The fat is LA Knight right now. He kind of can't go after Randy Orton. Like, dude was on the shelf for 18 months. Like,
Yeah,
what is
true.
your argument going to be that you deserve to go after Roman over Randy? He
Mhm.
has a stronger argument to say, I deserve an opportunity against Roman more than LA Knight.
Mhm.
That's my theory. It's just like LA Knight would be easier. And if we're going to go full into Randy versus Roman, then LA Knight has to do something. So might as well have like LA Knight versus AJ Styles in the meantime, you know?
What if this turns into a fatal four-way?
I don't know to me, I find it very hard to believe at this point that Roman would ever be okay with that.
But it's not up to Roman. It's up to Nick Aldis.
Okay,
No, but in all story purposes, like
I mean,
we have to, like, Nick Aldis. He has a show to run, and Adam Pearce is a champion on his show. Nick Aldis pissed he doesn't have a champion on his show. This is where you have that, back and forth, bump with the bloodline and authority, where the bloodline really don't run SmackDown anymore. And you can have that element to it. And then you have him in a fatal four-way. He can win the fatal four-way. That's not what I'm saying. But that's an easy way, one, to get him in a match. And two, you're giving LA Knight spotlight, Randy Orton spotlight, AJ Styles spotlight in a title match. Like, that would go so hard.
I agree. That would be a great match. I don't think that's going to happen. One, because if
Ooh.
we want to think about why, one of the reasons why Nick was able to convince Randy to sign with SmackDown was, I can give you the people who took you out. So then why would he promise that and then throw him into a match that gives him only a 25% chance of winning? Doesn't sound too great to me.
Elimination Chamber.
Maybe.
That's,
But
yeah.
also they could have a triple threat to be like, okay, who's the real number one contender between AJ, Randy, and LA Knight? But I still see it maybe that is going to be an elimination chamber. I feel like that's more so going to happen, because I think Randy's going to get the match at Rumble. So then they would have to figure out like who gets the match at, I don't know. Maybe it's not at Elimination Chamber, because I don't think there's anything between Elimination Chamber and Mania.
No, there's
So
not.
yeah, I think it might just be AJ versus LA Knight then.
What do we think of this? Karrion Kross will have a stable with AJ Styles and then two other guys, Authors of Pain.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of cool. But also
That
hilarious because of AJ's back and forth with Scarlett. I'm married, bitch. Like that, remember?
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny.
That would be funny. That would be funny. What is this one? They have a triple threat at the tapings. Oh, they had a triple threat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't ruin it. I don't need spoilers right now. I just went through whatever. But I did know they were taping. They did a double taping of SmackDown.
Yeah, it's because I
Which
told you, remember, that
smart.
they're not going to be.
Smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're giving them time off for the holidays. So
That's awesome. That is
Mhm.
so awesome that they're
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that can come out of SmackDown, which is fun because like this could very easily be dead time in wrestling because of how many weeks are left until the Royal Rumble. But I
Mhm.
feel like they're doing a pretty good job right now. Like I'm actually interested in like a lot of stuff that's happening on the show.
Yeah.
So,
It's SmackDown it's getting good again. The
mhm.
product's getting good.
Mhm.
Love it. Oh, I love it so much. And that was SmackDown.
Yes.
That was SmackDown. And thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the SmackDown Breakdown. We'll be back on a Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. We've got another episode of Raw on Monday. I'm excited. Oh,
Woo-hoo.
and we got and we have live events, CM Punk at MSG and the Kia Forum, whatnot. Those will be exciting. So thank you guys, or make sure you subscribe. Before
Yes.
thank you again. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to know when we post not only our live streams but our videos of all the clips that we talk about. Go check those out.
Thank you, Gianna.
Yes,
Thank you, Gianna,
Gianna.
forever. Oh, and they're going to be at the Madison Square Garden. That is awesome. We want make sure you join so that we can, one of our streams so that we can hear how it was.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because
That would
that's,
be
I mean,
awesome.
that's a huge show. So
That would be awesome. We want to hear that. So follow us on all social media platforms. Links are in the description below. Kingdom of Razor. All right, let me scroll up.
I'm
We had a lot of comments today, guys. Thank you.
I know.
All right, here it is.
Okay.
Skills for the NBA. What team would you play for? Celtics. Not even.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I don't even care. It's
Yeah.
Celtics.
Or nothing. Or my backyard. Like
Yeah,
Celtics or nobody
Celtics.
else.
I don't even want to go to Detroit anymore. They can't win a game. They're not winning a game with me on the team. If I was God for a day, what would you do the most? Heal the world or provide the need? The world is too broken.
I would provide the needs. I would make sure everybody had proper housing. I would make sure they all had food and water. And I would make sure that people had enough money to survive.
I'm going to go on that one because you can't heal the world. You can't heal what's already broken. So what can you do in that time? You help those who are dealing with the broken. So I agree that you would provide the need. Great question. Sorry I didn't get to that. But yeah. Oh, and I see again main event Fro with the super chat. Just guys, you're the best.
Yes.
You are the best. We appreciate all of you. And we hope to see you back here on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you gotta do is try. We will see you on Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.